You click this video because you are an anxious girly or guy. I don't discriminate. And I get it because I used to be one too. Hey, Christy, you worried about anything?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Let me fix that for you. I went from feeling like anxiety was a normal part of my everyday existence to now being just so chill most days because I have figured out the keys to get my mind to relax and to master, conquer, defeat, nearly obliterate anxiety.
You know what? I'm done with you. Goodbye.
Whatever. Who else can I torment? So if you're ready to kick all of these anxious thoughts to the curb, listen up because I am going to share with you all of the tips that I have learned to stop letting anxiety having any say over my life. These tips will have you being like, anxiety who? I don't know her. Welcome back, my friends, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Christy, and I make content centered around realizing no matter where we are in life, no matter our age, we are just on time to live the life of our dreams. And this is a little bit of a secret, but on the road to living my dream life, your girl has been known to be a little bit anxious at times. I hide it really well from most people, but those who know me, those who are in my inner circle, have gotten a chance to witness what this anxiety has looked like, and even to the point of like full on meltdown. I thought that I was doomed to live with this kind of undercurrent of either a little bit or a lot of anxiety, but anxiety no longer has this crippling effect on me because I have been working so hard to master it, to control it so that it no longer has any power over my life or over my days. So today, we're gonna talk a little bit about what anxiety looks like, why we have it, but most importantly, what can we do to master it? So why do we have anxiety? Let's face the facts. Our world can be a lot. From what we have to do to what other people have to say, it can be a lot. And it can be so easy for us to start overthinking every single thing. Anxiety is actually a really normal emotion where we might have feelings of fear or feelings of dread about something, and then our bodies and our minds respond to that. We may get sweaty, our heart speeds up, we get tense, and it's a response that was necessary for survival back when, like, it was necessary for survival. You know, hunting, gathering, staying away from predators, making sure that we can get from one day to the next, making sure that we are avoiding harsh weather patterns, things that could endanger our lives. But as we have evolved as people and as a society, those natural and normal fear responses that are intended to protect us actually become translated to things that have nothing to do with our survival, like going to work, preparing for a test, seeing people in the grocery store, thinking about the things that we need to do and want to do for our future, just random stuff that don't really present any immediate danger to our lives. But our bodies and our minds respond as if it does. I do have to put a disclaimer right here. If you are someone who has been diagnosed with some anxiety disorder, maybe you have a chemical imbalance that's been tested, I'm not talking about that. I am talking about your run-of-the-mill everyday person who is going around stressed out about what they said to somebody and how it makes them look or how they're feeling about something that is going to happen. That's where we're going with this. For me, I realized that my triggers for anxiety usually fall in about 6 different categories. You will probably find yourself in one or more of these as well. Seriously, your girl was a little bit stressed out. So I'm going to share those categories with you, and I want you to let me know if there is anything that you feel like I might have missed. The first one is I am feeling overwhelmed with the amount of things that I need to do. There are some really busy days where I have so much on my plate. Things are due by a certain time. I don't feel like I have enough time for myself, and I'm wondering if I even have enough time to be able to get these things done. I naturally just want to do things well, and the possibility of not doing things well just really gives me some cause for concern. The next one is I'm in a new situation where I'm not sure exactly what it is that I'm supposed to do. Maybe it's a new project. Definitely when I was starting YouTube, I was so excited to do it, but I was also like really nervous because it was very new. It was very much out of my wheelhouse. Right now, our school is revamping our curriculum, and I've been assigned to be a writing team leader, and I'm still learning all of the things that go along with the school. So I am leading this team of people, but I also am not quite sure what I'm doing as well. Next, being in a new situation where I don't know anybody. Everybody seems so surprised when I tell them that I am a hardcore introvert, like to my core, and it takes a lot of effort for me to get out of that natural tendency. And so when I'm having to talk to new people, it's like mad stress that is happening, and my whole body has this fear response that's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Who am I supposed to talk to? Blah, 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 blah. The fourth one is I am concerned about how something I said or did was perceived. My heart is always to be kind to people. So there have been times where I said something, or maybe I wrote something in a text message or an email, and then I backtracked and overthought either how that thing was perceived and whether or not I said it the right way. Having a difficult conversation. I have been in leadership a lot, and I've been in situations where I either had to fire people or I had to tell them that they were not doing a good job. And y'all, I hate that because I feel potentially what that emotion is going to be. And I know that it's not going to be a good conversation. Or maybe I'm in a conversation where somebody is telling me about something that I did and they're giving me some adjusting feedback. And the dread and the buildup of that conversation weighs so much more heavily than the actual conversation itself. And then my last one is worry about the future. I used to randomly just get worried about the future. Is this thing going to happen? Is that thing going to happen? Am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to do that? Just all of these questions and all of these scenarios in my head about what could potentially happen, and would feel all of the feels of being in that worst case scenario. Now that we know what anxiety is and why we have it, what do we do about it? It's not enough to just know about it and all be like,
oh, we just have anxiety together.
No, we need to have tools for how to be able to overcome it. So the first thing to do is to get out of your comfort zone. The way to overcome having difficult conversations, meeting new people, being in new situations is to actively put ourselves in those uncomfortable situations. I know that I can now manage talking to new people. I can manage talking to crowds because I have put myself in that situation over and over again. And because I put myself in those situations multiple times, whether it be voluntarily or because it was forced, I know and I have proven to myself that I can do it. Getting out of your comfort zone, not just once, but over and over again, will help you to build confidence and will prove to you that you can do whatever the thing is that is causing you some bit of anxiety. And you will find out that more than likely nothing bad is going to happen by pushing yourself. The next thing is to recognize that nobody is all that concerned about you. We get ourselves all in a tizzy about other people, what they're saying, what they're thinking, how they're feeling about us, and we blow things way out of proportion when in reality, they probably have as much stuff going on in their lives as we have going on in our lives, and they do not have the time, energy, or whatever to think about us on a continual basis. And yes, you might need to have a difficult conversation, but when the need arises, you'll have that conversation and then you will move on. Until then, keep trucking along with your life. There are going to be some people who don't like us, and that's okay. There's some people you don't like. You do not have time to be worried about what other people are thinking. That is not your business. You cannot control what other people are thinking or saying. So move on. The next thing that has really helped me is planning for the worst case. Because anxiety deals with what could happen, I have found it so helpful to just allow myself to go there. So often we worry about the bad thing happening, but then we just leave it at that space. And because we don't plan for it, it just sits there as this looming cloud of doom and dread just hanging over us. So make a plan for what will happen in that worst case scenario. What's going to happen if you get fired from your job? What's going to happen if you fail that test? What's going to happen if a person that you love betrays you? What will you do if you run into someone that you know at the store and you ain't looking all that cute? Go to the finish line with planning out that worst case scenario. It will give you something that you can have in your back pocket to be able to pull out should that worst case scenario happen, and it can stop you from living in the what if. The next thing that has really worked well for me is to plan out my day, my week, my month. If your anxiety is related to being overwhelmed, to being stressed out with the amount of things that you have to do, then plan out this busy space to a T, and also make sure that you plan in time for yourself. I find that when I am in a very busy and a very stressful season, it really helps me to see all of the things that I have going on laid out in front of me. It sounds so simple, but it's really easy for us to get caught up in our everyday routine. And then when something throws off that routine, we then try to make that thing still work. But we have to realize that our typical normal everyday probably can't work if we are in a new, very different season. Write everything down so that you can see it. If it is a lot of tasks or maybe a deadline that's coming up, estimate about how long each thing is going to take. Make sure that you block out time for yourself, but then also know exactly when that time is ending. That has helped me to calm my brain down so much. Many of you know that I'm a professor and we are in the downslope of our semester now. But it is so busy with the curriculum writing, with student stuff, just all of the things. It's so busy. And so what I did was I just looked at my calendar over the next several weeks to determine, okay, what are all the things that I need to do? And when is the semester over, and making sure that I am super clear on that, because I know and I can visually see that the end is in sight. The next thing is to work on you. When we are busy working on ourselves, growing, improving ourselves in different areas, we realize that we got it going on, because oftentimes anxiety is related to having confidence. Confidence in our ability to be able to do a thing, confidence that we are valuable and that we have something meaningful to be able to contribute, confidence that we are worthy of taking up space in the world. But when we are actively working on ourselves, we're learning our triggers, we're improving the areas that make us feel a bit nervous. We start becoming who it is that we're meant to be. We become more confident in what we bring and who we are, and the voice of anxiety comes all the way down. The next thing is to focus on others. While we are growing ourselves, we also have to realize that we are not the center of the universe. Some of y'all won't like this, but anxiety is a very self-centered emotion. I know that hurt a little bit. It hurt me to say it, but it's true. Anxiety is very self-centered. When we actually start to realize that there are a world of people around us who are going through things, who are probably going through things that we would never even want to experience, could never even imagine, it starts to bring things into a lot more perspective. I have said it before, but if our lives are solely focused on ourselves and the things that we can do for us, then we're doing it wrong. Start thinking about the gifts and the talents that you have to be able to bring, and ways that you can be of value and of service to others. Can you open the door? Can you give them a smile? Can you ask other people how they're doing? Can you do something to take a genuine interest in other people? We are not put on this earth just to serve ourselves. But what the cool thing is that when we focus on serving other people, then we benefit from that as well. We have more joy, we have more confidence, we have more peace, and we have more of the things that help us to be less anxious. The other thing is to grow your relationship with God. If you're new here, you know that I'm a Christian. You know that my faith is very important to me, and it is the compass by which I give advice. It's the compass by which I live my life. Being a Christian is not about, oh, look at me, I'm so holy, I'm so perfect, I am just doing it. No, it is about building that relationship with God, understanding who He is, how He sees us, and what it is that His plan is for our lives. I believe that the more we are connected to the source of life and to the author of our future, the less we have to be worried and anxious about all of these other things, because His word promised me, Christy, if you focus on me, girl, I got you. So when I spend time reading my Bible or praying or listening to worship music or writing my thoughts to Him, or just spending very quiet, still time in the presence of my Savior, it calms my brain down so much and really helps to refocus my mind. So that's what I got for you. Anxiety does not have to rule you, and you have the power to master it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and please let me know in the comments what resonated the most with you. Also, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? I'm gonna need you to jump on that. Alrighty guys, I love you. I'm cheering you on, and I will see you in my next. Bye for now.